Hi and welcome to another narration presented by yours truly, Cryptids Roost. Please be so kind as to throat punch the like button and smack the ass of the subscription button as well. And remember to tap the notification bell and then select all. That way you'll receive all notifications each time I upload a new video. Oh, and don't forget to share the video far and wide. This will all help with YouTube's algorithm and will help promote the channel more. If you enjoy listening to the following story, be sure to pop over to the author's Reddit profile and drop them a line, or even give them a glowing review. I'm sure they would appreciate it. The link to their Reddit profile will be below in the description. So grab your coffee, sit back and enjoy the show. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not. Blood-sucking lovers, aka blood-loving suckers. Part 1. This awesome series is written by SaidIt4321, a wonderful author over on Reddit's LibraryOfShadows subreddit. Al sat in the driveway, frustrated at his Honda's inability to start. It seemed like whenever there was a rainstorm or even a cold snap, the old grey ghost wouldn't start for anything. He'd heeded the mechanic's words to a T. No more extra pumps at the gas station, lest the engine would conk out for good. Still, here he sat, ready to yell all manner of profanities to the sky if Gigi didn't start up soon. He stopped for a second, closed his eyes and took a couple of deep breaths. Thank God for his medication. The unmedicated Al would have put his fist into the windshield by now, but with his juices pumping properly, he was able to keep his infamous temper at bay. Finally, he gently put his hand on the keys and turned, and the engine roared to life. Al thanked whatever God was listening and put Gigi into reverse. Now maybe if he didn't catch any lights, he'd be at work shortly, enough for his boss to only moderately emasculate him. 2 red lights later, Al walked into Hudson's barbecue with his eyes pointing straight to the freshly vacuumed floor. Kayla wasn't going to be happy with him either. She always had to vacuum if Al didn't get to work on time. God knows Mr. Freely wasn't going to vacuum it himself. "Hey, sleepyhead," Kayla said. Even in a slightly agitated state, she still managed to be sweet to Al. "Hey, Kay. Sorry." "It's okay. I was half asleep when I got here myself. You sure you can work while asleep?" "Oh, how I chortle." Kayla giggled and Al returned the favour. He loved her laugh, and no matter how upset he was, she always managed to leave him feeling better. "Al!" Of course, Mr. Freely yelling his name always managed to bring Al down to earth, or maybe even the fires of hell below. "Didn't I tell you if you were late again, you'd lose your job?" "Yes, you did, sir, but I can explain. I had car trouble and I'm done with your excuses. I'm done with your tardiness. I'm done with you in general. Get your shit and get out." Truth be told, Al had been expecting this. Freely and he had been butting heads since he first started working at Hudson's. Despite his frustration at adding yet another job to his list of lost causes, he was at least happy at the idea of not dealing with such a cantankerous prick anymore. As he walked back to his car, Al took in the beautiful sight of Roberta's town square. The tall stone pillar dead in the centre, the large train car commemorating the town's past as a travel hub, the walking park, which he always found kind of redundant, seeing as how Roberta was so small you could pretty much walk anywhere. He was so happy to have moved back home from the hustle and bustle of Atlanta. Not that he'd have much choice in the matter, but if this was his worst case scenario, then he was doing well in life. As he unlocked and started to get into his car, he saw Kayla running towards him. He felt his heart jump a little, and he even reacted as such before he had the chance to try not to. "Al, Mr. Freely's a dick. I'm sorry." "Nah, it's okay. He's right. I've been off the mark lately. You haven't been that off. Kayla, come on. A short pause. Al took a moment to look into Kayla's beautiful brown eyes. He saw acceptance there, then a lovely laugh. Okay, so you've been that off. But that doesn't give him the right to talk to you like that, especially in front of others. Nah, it doesn't. People like him just get off on that kind of thing, I guess. Yeah, I guess. Sorry again. Nothing you did, Kay, but thank you, that's sweet. Kayla smiled and offered out her arms. Al accepted and gave her one of his famous hugs. He stepped back and decided, what the hell. Kay, I know this is a weird time, but I was wondering, do you want to go to the Cherry Blossom Festival this weekend? Kayla smiled softly. Like a date? Yes, if that's okay with you. Sure. Now it was Al's turn to smile. Al lived in what had once been his grandmother's house and then his mother's house. His mom and stepdad had moved to a much nicer neighbourhood after retiring, and Al had been all too busy to move in rather than let a family home go to strangers. Of course, with his student debt and inability to hold down any job, Al had his brother Billy to thank for keeping a roof over both their heads. Billy had never gone to college and as a result had a credit score green as grass. He was always gainfully employed. He'd recently traded waiting tables with a solid factory job with benefits and holidays. He was so happy at this that he still didn't care if he was the sole breadwinner. He brought in enough money for everything, and besides, he got to live in a beautiful country town instead of a hole-in-the-wall apartment in Macon. Al got home only about 20 minutes after leaving. Billy happened to be on the couch when he got back and heard his car alarm sound. That was all he needed. He was surprised when Al stepped through the front door with a smile on his face. Lost another job, huh? Oh yeah. And yet you're smiling. Oh yeah. So, did you get a new job that quickly, or have you finally snapped for good? Al described his oh-so-short arrival at work, Mr. Freely's firing, and Kayla accepting his invitation. Billy was overjoyed for his brother and offered to drive the two to the festival. Al gladly accepted. That night, the two brothers decided to turn Al's latest firing into a celebration. Al had himself a couple of bottles of imported German beer, and Billy had a glass or two of wine. They were getting ready to start on another bottle and glass when Al's phone rang. It was Sheriff Bob, their neighbour. Hey Sheriff, how you doing?
Been better, Al. Much better. Would you mind coming down to Hudson's real quick?
What's up? Sheriff Bob wasn't the kind of guy to mince words. His next words sent Al into a state of panic.
I'm looking at something I think used to be your former boss.
Don't forget, if you enjoyed that story, be sure to pop over to the author's Reddit profile and drop them a line or even give them a glowing review. I'm sure they really would appreciate it. The link to their Reddit profile will be below in the description. And don't forget to check out the merch store. The link will be in the description and also in the video thumbnail. And if you'd like an honourable mention, send in a snapshot of yourself with your purchase and I'll feature it in one of the videos. Have you written a creepypasta story you would like me to narrate? Have you had any cryptid sightings, paranormal or supernatural encounters, or even had a creepy or terrifying situation you would like to share? Well, I now have my very own subreddit community where you can submit your stories. The link for that is also in the thumbnail as well as below in the description. You can submit your stories there, or you can send them to cryptidsroost@gmail.com. If you wish to remain anonymous, that's fine with me. Now I also have a Facebook group, Twitter, Reddit and Discord. And if you'd like to support the channel and help make it grow, my PayPal is paypal.me/cryptidsroost. And any and all donations would be gratefully received. Again, that will also be below. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not.